Look at you, short, greedy, talking like some moldy old storybook. I've killed real people, Leprechaun.
You're just a fairy tale that's outlived its time.
A fairy tale? No, little doll. I'm the reason creatures like you always end in pain and are never remembered.
Bad news for you. I don't believe in rules. I believe in knives, and you're standing way too close.
Then come closer and learn what it costs.
In this video, we analyze one of the most twisted and spine-chilling confrontations in modern horror mythology: Chucky versus Leprechaun. When pure human brutality collides with mythological judgment, the question is no longer who is more ruthless, but which darkness will survive when the rules of reality no longer protect the living. On one side stands Chucky. Once a serial killer driven by pure human malice, he refused to accept death when it finally came. Through forbidden voodoo rituals, he transferred his soul into a good guy doll. Standing only about 2 feet 3 inches to 2 feet 5 inches tall and weighing roughly 6.5 to 9 pounds. Chucky is small in stature, but extremely dangerous. Inside that diminutive body resides the mind of a fully formed predator, cunning, relentless, and brutally ruthless. On the other side stands Leprechaun, not human and not bound by ordinary life and death. Leprechaun is a living curse born from Irish mythology, an entity whose existence is bound to gold and ancient magical laws. He stands approximately 3 feet 9 inches tall. He possesses the ability to teleport instantly, warp reality, and turn human greed into a sentence of punishment. We regularly post videos like this one, pitting iconic horror characters against each other to determine who would win. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these epic showdowns. Chucky is not a demon. He is something far more disturbing. He is human evil with no expiration date. Chucky's power is neither cosmic nor mythological. It is practical. His greatest weapon is willpower, the absolute readiness to do anything to survive and dominate. As Charles Lee Ray, he was not a legendary monster. He was a killer who understood people, fear, and opportunity. That intelligence did not disappear when he became a doll. It was compressed and sharpened. Trapped inside a small body, Chucky became more dangerous because the world stopped seeing him as a real threat. He can hide in plain sight, move through confined spaces, and approach victims who would never suspect the toy in the corner. In combat, Chucky is dishonorable and never confronts an enemy directly unless he holds the advantage. He relies on ambushes, traps, environmental weapons, and psychological pressure to break his opponents before the blade ever strikes. Voodoo grants Chucky the ability to manipulate souls and possess bodies, but this magic is not instantaneous. Every ritual requires preparation and precise timing. Chucky cannot simply chant a spell to escape danger, and he cannot escape one truth. He still feels pain, still bleeds, and can be completely destroyed. Against humans, this risk is negligible. Against an ancient entity, it becomes a death sentence. Leprechaun does not operate like a typical slasher killer. He exists as a conscious curse, a manifestation that appears when ancient laws are violated. Bound to gold, Leprechaun is both executioner and accountant. Every coin represents a rule. Every stolen coin is a violation, and every violation demands punishment. Leprechaun's power does not lie in physical strength, but in supernatural authority. He wields fey magic to treat reality as malleable material, teleporting instantly between locations, warping environments, creating illusions, and manipulating human desire itself. He exploits greed, impatience, and overconfidence, turning victims into participants in their own downfall. His most dangerous weapon is language. A spoken wish, a careless sentence, or a moment of exposed greed can become a verdict. Leprechaun twists meaning, transforms desire into catastrophe, and uses the victim's own words to destroy them. Ordinary violence means little to Leprechaun. As long as the law of gold endures, he can return to continue his punishment. He does not rush. He watches, mocks, and waits, because time always favors a being unburdened by the fear of death. Chucky surpasses Leprechaun in adaptability and unpredictability. He is not bound by any supernatural code and can betray, ambush, lie, and change tactics instantly. This makes him extremely dangerous in chaotic, close-range encounters where psychology matters more than raw strength. However, Chucky's existence is tied to a fragile physical vessel. He can be destroyed beyond recovery. His voodoo magic requires preparation and timing, making it unreliable in sudden, uncontrolled encounters. By contrast, Leprechaun possesses near immortality and curse-based magic that persists beyond physical destruction. He manipulates reality, attention, and desire, forcing opponents to defeat themselves. Even so, he remains bound by ancient law and obsession with gold, creating narrow but exploitable gaps. This is not power versus power. This is chaos versus inevitability. The abandoned wooden warehouse had been dead long before either of them arrived. Rotten beams twisted overhead beneath layers of decayed wood. A single gold coin rolled slowly across the wooden floor, its dry clatter echoing through the empty space. Chucky steps out of the darkness, the knife clenched tightly in his hand, his body lowered like a confident predator. His eyes lock onto the coin as if it were a promise of an imminent victory. Leprechaun is already there, waiting poised for punishment. Chucky struck first. The knife drove straight into Leprechaun's chest without hesitation. Leprechaun screamed briefly, then hurled Chucky backward. The small body slammed hard against the wooden floor. Chucky sprang back up immediately. He drew a gun and fired repeatedly. Bullets tore through Leprechaun's body, shredding the wooden planks behind him as splinters exploded into the air, but the damage meant nothing. Leprechaun snapped his fingers. The space around them seemed to contract as magical chains burst forth from nothingness, ripping through rotten boards and wrapping tightly around Chucky, lifting him off the floor. Chucky screamed and cursed, then did what he always does, cheated. He pulled out a hidden four-leaf clover, capable of countering Leprechaun. The magic collapsed instantly. Chains crashed down onto the wooden floor with a heavy impact. Chucky rushed forward in a frenzy, slashing repeatedly, each strike forcing Leprechaun down onto the warehouse floor. Then the gold began to glow. Leprechaun rose again, whole and unhurried, as if everything that had just occurred had been nothing more than a test. With a simple gesture of his hand, a chain appeared and tightened around Chucky's neck, lifting him into the air. Chucky struggled in vain, the knife slipping from his hand, his screams fading as his strength drained away. The doll hung motionless in midair inside the cold, decaying wooden warehouse, where only the creaking of wood and silence remained like a sentence that had been carried out. Chucky does not lose because he lacks cruelty. He loses because cruelty cannot rewrite law. He can win moments. He can exploit weaknesses. He can destroy bodies, but he cannot erase a system older than his own existence. Leprechaun does not need to defeat Chucky. He only needs time. Between human malice and mythic consequence, the victor is not the one who strikes harder, but the one who cannot be truly ended. The winner is Leprechaun, not by execution, but by condemnation. If you enjoyed this cinematic analysis, leave a comment and tell us which showdown you'd like to see next. Battles where human evil collides with ancient supernatural law always leave chilling questions behind. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of the Multiverse Saga.
Waiting for the next episode on the Multiverse Saga.